the Zero Compromise Optics booth, and I'm talking with Nick Gephardt. Nick, great to see you again.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Yeah, love it.
This is a new company, so let's give our audience just a brief background in terms of Zero Optics or Zero Compromise Optics and how you guys got started.
Yeah, so we've been in the industry for a long time. Some of our key members have got almost 30 years experience in precision rifle scope development, design, production, all that. The guys that are doing our machining, tons of experience, our optics. We put together a team essentially that knew rifle scopes intimately. It wasn't a new venture for them, and everybody wants to hold nothing but the highest quality all the way around throughout the entire scope. So my background is more of a competition shooter aspect, so it's real fun to be able to bring my experiences for what I want in a premium rifle scope that the competition shooters want to have available.
Excellent. Now, you have two models that you're launching to be available about mid-year.
Sometime around in June, we're expecting to start shipping to our dealers, yes. The two models are the ZC 4-20, which as its name suggests, has a 4-20 magnification range, and then the ZC 527, which has the 5-27 magnification range.
Okay. Now, there's a lot to scope manufacturing. Zero Compromise Optics is what we all want. Talk to us a little bit about the internals, the components, and how you put them together.
Okay. This might take a little bit. Okay. All right. So you already mentioned it, Zero Compromise Optic. When we decided to go our own route, develop our own scope company, we said we want to have the best optics in the industry. We want to have the best mechanics and capability in the industry. We want to be the most durable, most robust, most reliable scope in the industry. How do we get all of that into one scope?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make two models of scope. That's going to be a tough call all the way around. There are good optic scopes out there. There are great scopes for the mechanics. We want to be the best at all of it, not just a couple aspects.
Yeah.
So, because we want to do that, we started looking at the design, talking to our mechanical engineer, talking to optics engineers. How do we pack all of these features and performance into a single rifle scope? We could not do it with a 34mm main tube because we did not want to sacrifice or compromise our optical system to have mechanical capability. We didn't want to compromise our mechanics, so we had the best optics in the industry. So we step up that tube diameter. That opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. Pure performance is what we went with. So optically, when we've been comparing these against the best in the world, we're not finding anything else out there that's able to match it. It might get very, very close, but when you look at the total light transmission, resolution, clarity and contrast, field of view, eye box, everything, even going into how it interacts with the mechanical system, is a vital aspect about the total optical design. Here's one example. So we are using larger internal lenses inside the scope that helps give us the optical performance that we want. How it combines with the mechanical performance is you can be at the extreme ends of your elevation adjustment. Most every other scope, when you start getting that far out, you're outside of the optical center, you're going to start picking up that distortion and that parallax issues at the edge of the field of view. We don't have that problem because of how we're able to design the scopes and use the larger internal elements in there.
Amazing. Now, the scope in front of us, let's kind of go through some of the unique features. I see in terms of how the turret is demarcated, it goes up to 35 mil of elevation.
35 mils of elevation.
And 15 mils per rev?
15 mils per turn, yep. So you get about 2 1/4 turns of the elevation turret. Yep. So we do have a return to zero feature built into the turret itself. Okay. So right now you're at your max range. Yep. Go ahead and spin it all the way down. It's going to bottom out at a 1/2 mil.
Right.
Okay. So that's where your return to zero point is. Okay. So you can be anywhere in your adjustment range. You get your elevation zero set. You want to zero out your turret. You got 2 set screws over here. That's indicated by a couple little engraved arrows.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
It's a little kind of touch, and that was one thing that I said, hey, let's put some arrows in there, because other scopes, when I'm behind there trying to re-zero and I got to use the Allen key, I'm usually hunting for where that's got to go. Let's engrave a couple arrows on there. So that was easy to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So you loosen those up just a little bit, spin it back to 0. It's going to spin free. You're not going to feel any clicks. Line up your 0, tighten those down nice and tight, and you're done. You're going to get your 1/2 mil below 0. It's built into the turret.
I like how the numbers are nice and big for aging eyes. You can easily tell where you're at.
And that was a key feature that we looked at. Is we've had so many people, aging eyes, that said, I can't see that engraving very well. The click spacing was really tight. The numbers weren't very big. Okay, how can we make that better? We wanted to have a small frame turret for height, large diameter. Guess what? Now we can still have 15 mils per turn, but they're also wider spaced than a lot of competing companies out there. And we can keep our engraving big. We didn't want to try and throw a third row of numbers on there, so I said, well, okay, if you guys are shooting ELR type stuff and you're using 30 mils or more, you're probably well aware that you're that far out. So let's go ahead and put those numbers up top. And we have a little bevel angle on there, so you can just a slight lift with your head, and you can kind of see them.
Yeah. Also, I'm noticing locking windage and elevation. Does the Ocular lock as
yes,
well?
the Ocular does lock. Here's a lock right here.
Okay.
Your diopter is a fast focus, European style. Easy to get your parallax, or not parallax, your crisp reticle image, and then you lock it down, and you're good to go. An added benefit of our knurling design is the Tenebrax covers actually snap on here without an adapter ring.
Yeah, you're all right, yeah.
Yep, on that one there, you're still going to need your Tenebrax cap up front, but you got that. You got a built-in magnification change lever right there. So what do you think of the torque on that?
It feels good. It's not super loose, not super tight.
Right, exactly. And that magnification change lever makes that a little bit easier to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very nice.
So,
and tell us a little bit about kind of the glass that you're using here and the coatings.
Right. The optical elements are all European shot lenses, grindings, coatings. All of that comes from shot. The machined parts, all the individual pieces are done by our shop in Austria, our specs, making everything to the tightest possible tolerance that we can do, which is outstanding. We bring in all the individual parts and pieces, the lenses, into Idaho, hand assembled, one at a time, start to finish, by a single technician. So you get an American craftsmanship, building a single scope at a time up here in the United States.
And I noticed here that you have, to start with, 2 custom reticles that you guys have designed and put a lot of thought into. Can you kind of quickly highlight some of the unique features?
Okay. When I started looking at the Reticle Designs, what I wanted to have was 2 basic designs to start out with. It had to be a mill base because that is majority of the guys that are going to be using this level of scope. Okay, so I wanted a straight crosshair and I wanted a tree type reticle.
Right.
I used one of my favorite, actually my 2 favorite designs that I liked. I printed off pictures of other designs that are out there that people love, and I started circling key features of those reticles, saying I like that, I like these, I like this one. And then how do I integrate all of that into 2 basic reticle designs? It took a lot of hard work. I'm bouncing ideas off of Jeff, we're talking about it, and we came up with some really cool features in our reticle. We have 2/10 indications along the horizontal. All right, that's not new, but it's what precision rifle shooters want to have. We have 2/10 indications along your entire vertical, as well as throughout the horizontal portions in the tree style reticle. Of particular note is how we actually did the center section of the reticle. We have a stair step kind of going out to your first mill over here in 2/10 increments, but for the guys that want a 1/2 mil point within that first mill specifically, we put a 1/2 mil indication right up here on the top. So you can snap exactly to a 1/2 mil if you want it. You can hold 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever within that first mill. The added benefit of that is for when you're actually on a stage, mill ranging a target to engage, instead of having to push out to your 1/10 breakdown out here between your 45 mil points, you can do your horizontal ranging right here at the very center of your field of view. I think it's a great design feature that we had and something that nobody else that I'm aware of has integrated into their reticles. So that's in both the Impact 1 as well as the Impact 2 reticles. And the 2 I know is going to be probably the preferred reticle for the precision rifle shooters, the National Rifle League guys, the guys that are shooting long range and like to hold for most of their stuff. Also with the Impact 2, we kept the tree as open as possible by having kind of a step pattern with our 2/10 indications, but we also denote the whole mill values nice and bold with tick marks top and bottom, as well as a floating dot in there, so you can find those quick and easy.
Very good. Now, as far as pricing, we're looking at, what's the range here?
Okay, we've been getting a lot of questions on Facebook, a couple other places, and I've personally been a little bit hesitant to say we're going to be at this price point for this scope, at this price point for that scope, because we're still at pre-production process. Okay, been talking with Jeff quite a bit over here. We're comfortable saying our scopes are going to be in the $3,200 to $3,400 price range.
Yeah.
I think that keeps us very competitive in the market, especially giving the optical quality, the mechanical capability, the entire durability of the scope is second to none from any other manufacturer out there. And at that price point, man, it's going to be good.
Absolutely. And distribution through your favorite channels or a retailer? Is that right?
Yep. So we are the manufacturer, we're the distributor. We'll work with our dealers throughout the United States. We're still in the process of trying to figure out which dealers. We've had so many stop by here at the show already. It's been amazing support from all the guys that we used to work with a couple of years ago. So we want the dealers that know the product, that deal with high-end products, that are passionate about the products, and we want to support them as best as possible.
Absolutely.
So we're a small company. The dealers can get a hold of us, shoot us an email, give us a call. We're going to get a hold of you real quick and easy, no issues.
Well, Nick, thanks for taking the time and giving us a really good rundown on your products you're bringing to market. Best of luck to you and Jeff.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We'll see you on the range.
Okay.